How's it going, honey?
They broke the cool bag, and
yeah, we knew that they would.
They're mainly looking okay, except for she's not doing too well. They're all looking good. She's just, I could touch her and she just does not care.
You know, one good thing about keeping rabbits for meat, I think, and maybe I'm a little weird for this, but, you know, they do kind of make good pets. You know, they're cute, you know. They got nice soft fur, they're cute, you can pet them, you know. And I know this is the part that's weird, I know I'm going to eat the rabbits, you know, the offspring or whatever. I know I'm going to do that, but for me, it doesn't bother me. You know, I always keep in my mind that they're animals, and you know, that's just their purpose. So it doesn't bother me. I don't know, maybe that's weird, but I'm able to actually separate it in my mind. It doesn't bother me. Whether I call them names of endearment or anything like that doesn't bother me. I would still slaughter it if I came to do that, and it wouldn't bother me that much. But I know a lot of people it makes them sad. A lot of people it's very difficult. But for me, it's not difficult at all. You know. But anyway, that's just me. Most of them, they're starting to warm up. Starting to warm up to me a little bit, huh? Probably give you a little piece of grass. I will reward you with some grass. I had thought that the rabbits were all doing good. You know, they seemed like they were pretty chipper for the most part. Their ears were up and kind of, you know, all perked up and everything. Except there's one, the female rabbits, one of the does. She's actually seeming like there's a serious problem with her. Now, until today, she was eating, she was drinking, she was just a little sluggish, a little slow. We thought that she would just break out of it. Apparently, she's not breaking out of it. So we have an emergency situation on our hands. So, for the most part, you can see that these rabbits are different. Even that rabbit that's laying down in the back, that's our male rabbit. But you can see his ears are straight up. Whereas the other one had her ears tilted back. You can see her in the background there where she's got her ears back and down and low, you know, while his ears are perked up.
And he's breathing different.
Right.
His breaths are different. She's breathing like in distress, like deep breaths, trying to pant. And he's just more like just cooling himself.
Right. My wife went ahead and sought to separate her out, put some plantain in there to help her breathe. It's respiratory expectant, so that's going to help her a little bit if she eats it. We also have her own water, so she doesn't have to compete for water and food to kind of bring her out of it. Now, my wife, she's done some research on the internet, and from what we found out, we're going to have to force feed the rabbit. And when their stomach shuts down, they won't eat, and they basically, out of shock, they starve to death. So we're going to try to stop that. If you force feed the rabbit with pineapple juice, that the pineapple juice will help jumpstart the stomach again. We're going to mix that together with some blended up grass and plantain.
Plantain and some dandelion.
Got some dandelion in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it did not turn out well. Even though our intention was to make a concoction, we were just too late. We're still fairly new to the whole rabbit thing. We did have one whole set of rabbits last time, and that was our first time into rabbits, and this is really our second time into rabbits, and we just haven't had this happen to us before. So anyway, we weren't in time, so the doe did not survive. And this is just part of farming. There is life and death on a farm. There's life and death on a homestead, and it's never an easy thing to handle. It's different. If it's livestock and you're killing the animal for the purpose of food. That way that death serves a purpose. So that's different than whenever the animal dies of its own. That's completely a whole different scenario. At least in my mind, it is different. So it is sad that happened. And really, it isn't because of any disease. I don't believe it's any kind of a bacteria or anything like that happened. It's just, the shock of transporting the animal, and it went into shock, and it never pulled out of it, and we just didn't identify it soon enough. So going forward, now we know that if we transport any new animals, and if they don't perk up within the first day, then we need to spring into action right away and not give it another day. It's been 2 days since we got the rabbits, and if we would have responded yesterday, which would have been the following day, we might have had a chance to possibly turn things around. But we waited 2 days, and it was just too late. You got to look ahead of the time. The whole definition of the word prudence. To be prudent is to have foresight and to have wisdom. And it's a type of wisdom where you look down the road. Say, okay, if I do this, where does that lead? What is the consequences of what I'm about to do? Right? And you think that out ahead of time. You anticipate what those consequences are going to lead to, and then you make your plans accordingly. Now that is the definition of being prudent. Being prudent, If you don't look ahead, you don't look down the road to see where that action is going to lead, and you do it anyway, then you're not going to be prepared for what takes place. And it's true, you can't not anticipate every possible outcome. You can't do that. I can't anticipate every future outcome. But based on my past experience, based on my knowledge on how things work, I can anticipate most of the things that could happen. And if things happen randomly or things I didn't account for, then I can, maybe easily deal with those things as they happen. But really, to be prudent is to try to look down the road, consider the consequences, of things ahead of time before doing it. And in the Bible, that's referred to as counting the cost. Counting the cost. Becoming Christian isn't just some flippant thing that I know people try to reduce it to a handshake or raise up your little hand when no one is looking. All heads bowed and all eyes are closed. Raise your little hand and God sees you. and the pastor sees you, by the way, but no one else sees you, and you'll be saved instantaneously. You'll be saved, right? And they try to reduce it down to that, but I believe that leads to a lot of false conversions. A true conversion involves counting the cost, and if you don't rightfully count the cost, whenever persecutions come, and they're going to come, I get persecuted quite often because I quite often share my faith. So the more you share your faith, the more you're going to be persecuted. No matter what persecution might come your way, it will always be worth it. It's what I call a labor of love. A labor of love. So I know I've kind of got onto this topic. I tend to do that. Preachers do that all the time. I went on a rabbit trail, so to speak. So let's get back on topic. And, these things happen, so you just have to think ahead of time, show some prudence, look a little bit further down the trail. So if something like this were to happen again, I think we would be better at identifying it and acting sooner. So we're going to make some changes in our approaches to things, and we're going to pay closer attention and just have some things ready, have things on the ready in case this happens again. And the rabbit went into shock. Its digestive system shut down and stopped working. The animal eventually stopped eating, and then things happen after that. So it's sad, and I really hated that it happened. It's just something that does happen on a homestead, on a farm sometimes. So we're going to take better precaution, and even taking better precaution does not ensure that it'll never happen again. But we can decrease the likelihood of that. We can do that. So I thank you, and thank you for watching, and hopefully this has been helpful to you and on a lot of levels. And please like, subscribe, and share. This channel at this point of making this video, we don't have very many subscribers, and I would love to have more subscribers, to have more people to be able to have access to this content. And if this content is being edifying to you, if it's building you up in your general knowledge of things, if it's building you up in spiritual knowledge, if you appreciate the way and the manner in which this channel is being conducted, please show that by sharing it, so more people can have access to the same blessing that you are receiving, that have access to the same blessing.